guys? Welcome back to our review of Shogun, the finale, which we just got done seeing. And oh my God, this is, I'm just going to come right out and say it. This is a legendary fucking series.
10. Motherfucking 10. Wait.
Motherfucking 10 out of 10.
Has it been 8 seconds?
Probably been 8 seconds.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Wow. This is a great time for some good television. We've been getting some good TV shows recently, and Shogun really puts the fucking cherry on top. In fact, I think Shogun may be the best television show of the year, hands down. I really don't think, unless something comes along, but I really doubt it. This was so masterful. So let me take the helmet off here, so I can hear you guys. Guys, there are so many layers in this series. The acting, the dialogue, the concepts, the cinematography, the sound design, the music, the authenticity. It is fucking amazing, and it takes a little bit of work from the audience. You know, this is a subtitled series. This is, so for some people, they might think it a slow burn because there's not massive CGI battles and this and that, but I think in the end it is all worth it. It's a master class and a lot of talented people getting together and telling a story faithfully. Alex,
I brought my book.
Boom.
Older than all of us
1,200
combined.
pages.
That is a massive book.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad they kind of condensed it down, made it, in 10 episodes. And my gosh, I just loved every bit of it. I'm glowing right now because so we watched. So previously we covered four episodes. So in the spoilers breakdown section, we'll cover the additional 6 that we missed individually. We'll probably go a little faster, but man, excellent TV. The culmination of everything is executed at a top level. And Toranaga and Yabushige and look at me, I actually remember these names now. That's a rarity for Joe. I'll probably still mispronounce them. Mariko, these are amazing characters. I didn't think it could get any better, and it kept getting better.
It did.
Let's first off I want to point out some things. So the Anjin is the Japanese word for pilot. Thank you for pointing that out. A few people in the comment section said that I said it was foreigner, and it is definitely pilot. Are we really going to not talk about how the priest looks like Alex? It's another comment.
Yeah, I mean, we were both white guys with beards, so I mean, it's
That's exactly what I said. I was like, what, that's it?
Yeah.
Don't worry, get that allowed with a lot of characters.
Guys, this, like I said, this series is amazing. Japan has a real bandit problem.
Yes! Fucking bandits everywhere.
I
saw that comment. I was thinking that exact same thing watching it. It's like, more bandits? What are the odds?
And, the actor Hiroyuki Sadanada did so much good work here in this particular. If you actually watched the behind the scenes, he did a lot to prepare for the role. And it really comes through on screen. Did y'all know that the Yabushige guy was in the MCU? I was like, oh, shit, he was. He's one of Thor's guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was
I did
there.
not.
And Mariko apparently was one of our comments, was in Monarch. And they hated her character. And it just goes to show you that, like, good writing and directing makes, like, all the fucking difference.
Exactly, because I think Rose was a terrible character. Maybe outside of that one, she could have been good. Star Wars.
Oh,
Rose.
Yeah, thank you for the context. Okay.
Ew.
Yeah, I forgot about Rose.
And then,
Rose.
yeah, so basically, to me, this is, remember how we compared it to Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones, while it was good, it has that. But fuck, after watching all the episodes, I would say this is better. This does not have the shitty ending like Game of Thrones did. So this, to me, a better series. And also, correction to me, audience also put out a correction. Hulu does have a dubbed version. So if
I saw that,
if you're an idiot and you want to turn that on,
nope.
I refuse to ever
I was like,
turn it
oh,
on.
there
I don't even want to
is
hear
an
it.
option, but no.
Yeah.
I love hearing the voices.
Yeah. And now I am so actually enamored with this. I do want to read the book. I want to see what that's like. Apparently, there are some missing things.
There's one thing I referenced in our first video. The very last lines of the book are kind of metal, and they didn't include it because it doesn't.
That's for spoilers.
It's a little more brutal than the show's tone.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see it.
Okay, and then I also one of our fans said the old '80s show is actually completely different. It's told through John Blackthorne's eyes only. So that makes me kind of like excited to watch it, like from his point of view, rather than on multiple. So that's an interesting kind of, thing. And then finally, somebody was like, I love the authenticity too, but one of the things is the footwear is not authentic. They said it was impractical to wear the actual footwear of the
Air
time.
Force Ones.
Yeah, everybody's wearing. Everybody's wearing it. I guess those fucking sandals and ninja shoes were Air Force Ones compared to what they really were wearing back in the day. So, I think let's go ahead and give our final verdicts, even though we kind of already did, for the whole thing as a series.
As a series, I'm going to kick it off. 10.
Yes.
I know you're going to be upset because it's not 11.
Joe,
how dare you?
No longer. Let's stop being raw over our fallout, okay? Maybe y'all are still raw. I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay. You're just taunting them so that we can get down votes in all my videos. Appreciate that, Joe.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Listen, Joe! You have done me a great dishonor. You must commit seppuku.
No, it's a 10.
I am your lord. Go ahead.
I loved everything about this show. Like, every scene was just like the visuals and just the silence. You just see their emotions. They don't even have to say anything. I love the way they just act everything out. And the thing I loved the most was the little treachery that was going on. I keep forgetting his name.
Yabushige.
Yes, see, you already know.
He's
such
a
good asshole
fucking character.
He's a likable asshole.
And I love how he kind of goes out, man. Should I stay away from Florida?
Well, that's why I didn't want to say
in the final.
Okay, we are in the finals.
Yeah,
yes, I like the way he
then.
kind of went out. I was sad to see him go, but yes, he did deserve it. But he was. It was told in such a good way where I actually felt for the asshole.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
felt
yeah,
bad
that's
for
good.
him.
Me too. Me too.
And Mariko, amazing. Got a little sad when
episode 9.
Episode 9,
holy
man.
Shit.
We were at episode. I finished episode 8. I was like, "There's no way it could get better." It started getting better. 9, 10, it just started getting like it elevated itself.
Like I was already at 10s, and I was like, "Can I go higher than 10?" Like when she tries to leave the motherfucking castle.
Yes.
That scene.
I was gonna say that scene. Fucking loved it. She's like, okay, I'm not a prisoner. I'm gonna go.
All of her fucking retinue was like, go at it, and I was like, oh, we got this. And then more soldiers show up, and I'm like, oh my god. And this is all a public display, and I was like, damn. And then the episode ends. I'm like, holy fuck. This is amazing. How are things going to play out? And then it gets even better.
I fucking love that one in Toranaga, how he's just playing chess. So he's like, all right, well, unfortunately, he killed himself, but it was all for show. It was the grand master plan. And then
holy fuck. I think that was episode 8.
Yeah.
And that was a 10 out of 10 for that fucking scene alone. We watched that together. We were like, there was an X.
Don't.
And then like a silence fell over the room. It was, oh man, that was
one
of the
most. You get so invested in this.
Yeah. One of the most fucking intense and investing scenes in any television show that I've been in, that I've watched in a long, long while.
Yeah, and I honestly loved everything about it. The visuals, the writing, the actors, the soundtrack that they used.
Yes.
Just perfect fucking show. I wanted more of it.
I think a lot of people pointed out how the rain falling on the roof and hitting the ground and just that sound to the background of episode 8 where he commits seppuku.
Yeah,
and
the
some
sound
of these other
design
scenes
is just so
like
great.
Perfect.
And like, what was that little story? The guy touched the bird and died.
Oh, the pheasant. Yeah.
I felt bad for that old man.
Yeah, it was all for a purpose, though.
I know.
I think this is the highest tier of television. This is right up there with Band of Brothers and some of those other series that didn't linger too long. There's not a side story or like unnecessary things that need to be trimmed off. I think all of the characters are interesting. To me, George R. R. Martin borrowed a lot from this to kind of create his own thing, but I think he almost bloated it out. And they did even worse with the TV show where they just dragged it on, in my opinion, way too long, and they didn't know what to do with it. So this being a limited series and them having the ability to hold back and not make it 4 seasons, even though there's 6 sub books within this, right? Like they could have done, it's 60 chapters, it's technically books, 6 books in here, and they could have dragged it out. And honestly, I don't think this is exactly the way that they needed to make it, because there was no slumping. No. There was not a single time where I was bored. I've got unfortunate house guests, friends that are coming, and they want to be watching it now too. So I'll be there watching the show with them, and it's great watching it.
Yeah, I watched it twice with you guys because like I couldn't help myself. One night I'll fucking marathon
I was
like
I need
6
to watch
episodes,
it all. Yeah.
And so I've watched it twice as well, and it still holds up.
Yeah, so this is the highest tier of television. Like this is great. If you want to know, like, oh, what do you guys mean good writing versus bad writing? What do you guys mean tension?
We're gonna mention this one.
Tension versus not having tension, and just scenes, knowing how to keep you on the edge of your seat, but knowing when to finally give you that kind of release. And so it's appropriate use of tension. It's not dragged on too long, and it's not too short. Like this is everyone doing their best job. The actors, the writers, everyone. There's a lot of fat in this book. There is. And I was thumbing through it and just going through, and it was like the show did a very, very good job taking this and turning it into something that was more culturally appropriate, because they worked really hard to make sure that it was more accurate, and then just making it great TV. So if you have eyes, you should be watching this.
There you go. And I saw some people defending Alex in the last one. Alex is rough on things because it's like, this is a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? And so the use of, if you want to know what good writing is, if you want to know, and in fact, the intelligence. This never treats you like a stupid audience viewer, that needs everything explained out. And it lets you reveal these multiple layers. It's just peel these layers, and there's layers upon layers, and everything within this world feels authentic. It makes sense. It feels lived in. It is just immaculate. I fucking loved every second of it. And yes, there may not be this massive final battle that I was hoping for, and that I'm sure a lot of other people are hoping for, but it does make a point that it's like, it's not always physical force that can lead to getting what you want, especially if you're golden, as calculated that Toranaga is, and I think that resonates, and that message resonates. We got to see a little tiny bit with some CGI, but nothing like the huge payoff that Game of Thrones watchers and things were expecting and got, even though it was completely in the dark and we couldn't see shit.
I don't know if I say we got
the tactics weren't dumb. Let's put the fucking catapults in the front line. It's like, well, let's charge all of our cavalry into the darkness. Oh my god. Thankfully, we're not talking about that kind of stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is a true political intrigue where he got to sit 300 miles away from Osaka, in Edo, and then I think the other village is a little closer. And he got to win a war through letters and pigeons. And, that is the guy who was pulling all the strings. And they hinted, the entire time that, even Rodriguez in the beginning, it's like, who do you think runs a city like Osaka? Do you think it's the guy out in the open, or do you think it's the guy behind the scenes? And, they did, everything is done that way. So it's like, we do get hints that there was kind of a battle, and they do die.
And he even has a line, it's... And when you take it all in, it's like he sent a woman instead of the army to get something that the army couldn't accomplish.
Exactly, I love that line.
This is such a good example.
Great line right there.
Of strong female characters, of, writing that we like, and, if anybody has shit to say about this, what the fuck they're, you'll expose yourself immediately for who you are if you call something like this out that's so well written, so well executed, and has so many layers to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just going to avoid this just because it involves reading, and then I don't think that the people who are Velcroing their shoes in the morning are going to be able to like read everything to them. So I think we're going to like. That's why I'm not afraid of like shitting on the people who are mad at us about Fallout because they weren't reading any of this shit anyway.
I love your quote, by the way, the last one, which was for Rebel Moon.
Oh yes.
It was even on Charlie's video.
Yeah, this movie is for guys who punch the walls.
Punch holes
in walls.
Critical. Fucking Alex, man, nailed it on that. All right, well, okay, yeah, to me, 10 out of 10. I think it's fucking obvious.
Pretty easy. You should be watching this.
You should watch this. Watch it with your loved ones. Watch it with your family. It's great television. You'll have a great time. You do need to put some work in. You do need to do some reading. You do need to invest yourself. This is not Call of Duty where there's explosions every fucking time, but I think by the end, as you get invested, this is very character focused. You'll start to understand where more criticism of other films. You put this one, notch it into your belt. You're like, yeah, man, you remember one of the best fucking samurai period pieces ever, that television show Shogun, and you're gonna know it.
The plot isn't moved along by
Samurai with Tom Cruise, and then I thought, what's the other one with Keanu? There was another
47 Ronin or some number
Ronin.
Ronin. Yeah,
40-something Ronin.
Anyways, this is far better, and it's excellent. All right, so I guess let's go ahead and go into the individual episodes, just kind of talking about them on the ones that we didn't. So we stopped at 4 last time because I ran out of time. I had to go. So let's jump into episode 5, which is called Broken to the Fist. So essentially, Toranaga returns to Ajiro with his army, learning that, Jozen had been killed in that fucking brutal cannon attack, which was fucking
chain
awesome.
shot, bro.
Is that what they hit him with?
Yeah, they foreshadowed in the previous episode. The last thing they loaded the cannons were with chain shot, and that's why they got turned into ground beef.
Yeah, so, and then we get the scene with Blackthorn and Buntaro, and they're, drinking sake, they're getting fucking drunk, and Buntaro, just a fucking asshole, man. This guy's back, and it's like, he forces Mariko to tell Blackthorn her backstory, essentially, which was
her shame.
What?
That she's part of the family that killed the last official leader before the Taiko took over. So the guy was a ruthless shitbag, and there was a conspiracy to have him killed.
And this was the father of the crazy lady back in Osaka, Ochiba no Yakata.
And so that's the whole family. And then so after killing him, the father was forced to kill the rest of his family before killing himself for the great shame. But he had sent her away to marry some bullshit lord, and that was her story.
Yeah, and then, she has a grudge against Toranaga's character, and this was something I was trying to figure out. Why does she fucking hate Toranaga so goddamn much? And it's likely because his plannings, and he's allied.
He's a dastardly bastard.
He was allied with the guy that ultimately killed her father, even though her father was a fuckhead that basically was brutal and probably not right for Japan. So, yeah, and basically everybody was killed but her. But Buntaro obviously, protected her in the sense that they, it's revealed later on that her father had made that strategic kind of alliance in order to protect Mariko.
Yeah.
And but it doesn't mean that Buntaro's a good guy. He's a fucking asshole.
He's constantly made her relive her shame and reminded her of her shitty family, and he's just been a dick forever.
Yeah, and wouldn't even let her take her own life, and she would always ask him to get released. Yeah, but this is what but then what we see character arc from Buntaro, and that's what makes this series so good, because it's like, I hate this fucking guy, but at the end I'm like, you feel that head nod between the Ajin and Buntaro by the end of all this stuff. When Mariko sacrifices herself, there's this mutual respect, of two men that love the same woman, essentially. Though Buntaro's all
I like that
up.
very end scene too. Well, we're already in spoilers.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're doing.
Yeah, I like the
breakdown.
end scene too, where he kind of helps pull the boat back in. He just gives it a little head nod, starts pulling. He's like, okay.
Yeah. So continuing in on Broken to the Fist, basically later that night, Mariko is assaulted by Buntaro, and Blackthorn confronts him. So I'm like, finally, something is being done about this bullshit. And, but there's no battle. The Buntaro.
He would have lost. John would have lost.
Oh,
John would have lost, man. You see his fucking arrow
Yeah, he had a gun,
skills?
but still.
And then he later sees that arrow, is perfectly shot, even though he was drunk as fuck. He's like, But there's no fight because he lays down his sword and apologizes for disturbing his home and everything. So just fucking, great moments. And then this is when Blackthorn goes to Toranaga to leave Japan. But then I did not see this coming. I'm like, what the hell? Is this turning into a mystical series with magic? And no, it's an earthquake. I was like, what's happening here?
You bring out Godzilla right now.
What the fuck is it? Oh, shit.
20
Hell
10.
yeah, 20. Yeah, combine my two favorite things now, Godzilla and Shogun.
Well, I mean, this is the prequel to Godzilla.
Yeah.
In a way, so.
Fuck, that's fucking sweet. No, earthquake hits,
happens,
basically swallows up his
destroys
armies, fucking destroys his lands. He is legitimately fucked. Blackthorn, though, risks his life and saves Toranaga. And obviously, this, Toranaga likes him even more.
Gives him his swords too, which is a big thing because he can't find his swords and he can't be Lord without him. That was a really cool scene.
That was great.
Where, passing over her swords.
Even though those swords were shitty swords, apparently, that we learned from a previous one.
It's symbolic.
Yeah. From a guy that was a coward or something. And let's see, what else? In Osaka, the remaining regents attempt to decide who will take Toranaga's place on the council, but Ochiba soon arrives and reunites before telling Ishido. Okay, I'm butchering these. Ishido, thank you, Joe. That the council is basically we know who we know who the real power in Osaka is.
The bandits.
The bandits,
yes.
Ochiba, basically.
Yeah.
So,
and it's because she ultimately controls the air, and the air has all the banners, and
let's get a rating for episode
10.
5.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it was great. Fucking
sir.
love this one.
Yeah,
I love the scene between the two guys drinking and her backstory and just everything that's been going on with her.
Yeah, it's great world building. I love the fact that John was like, "Oh, you want to drink out of these little bitch cups? Like, no, we're gonna drink out of these bowls." And it was great.
Oh man. Well, if you thought that, let's see, here we go. Which one? Episode 6. I feel like I'm about to give every fucking episode a 10 out of 10. That's kind of how I feel. But if I were to look at all the episodes and I would say, okay, which ones do I like more than the rest? That's kind of the perspective I'm going to give you. This next one is maybe the one that I didn't like as much as the other.
I agree.
This one's called Go ahead.
Ladies of the World. I mean, it's like I'm not just blindly giving everything 10 out of 10 to kind of reiterate what you're saying. Like 6 and 7, I would give 9s to.
Yeah.
They're excellent, but they're just
trying to make you understand the difference between this and other TV series. But then within this episode, then we can talk about that.
We can think critically about stuff like that. Yeah.
Ladies of the Willow World, this is the one that, I don't know, I think the pacing, a lot of it was focused on
the flashbacks and stuff like that. Yeah,
and then we have the mistress getting her bits, the brothel leader, essentially, that I felt was taking up a little bit too much. And ultimately, when you think about it, doesn't really add up. Well, actually, but see, this is part of peeling back the layers. Oh no, Joe, we never adjusted my camera. I think
it's the seat because I can't move the camera.
Fuck. So we're at Alex height here. So if I look, I'll sit under.
We got to give him a phone book.
Yeah. See, fuck this.
Now
I look like a tiny ninja, Joe.
Well, this
Yeah,
pan it
zoom
down.
in.
We'll pan it
Zoom
down.
in. Pull it
We
in.
always adjust up and down between
Alex
me
is
and
too
Alex.
high.
It's too fucking tall. We forgot.
You
to
make me
do
so.
it.
I'm sitting on the ground right now.
All
Things
right,
need to be done.
then I'll just make myself larger in frame. Anyways, I just noticed that. So go ahead. Why don't you all take this?
Yeah, so the summary I got here is Lady Ochiba returns to Osaka in order to accelerate the region's campaign against Toranaga. And in Ajiro, Toranaga tests Mariko's loyalty to his cause. So they go to this tea house, which is not a brothel, because there are brothels, and they are. We kind of see one later on where it's like rowdy and shitty, and it is just, prostitutes in a room type thing. And this is like a high class place. This is, and so. We see Toranaga's picking up on the tension between, John and Mariko, and he's like, "You're gonna go with him, and you're, get him laid, and you're gonna watch,
and just in case he wants to pillow talk."
And then another kind of crazy scene, Kiku, who absolutely, knows how human beings work and what they're into, definitely sees what is going on and sits on the opposite side and then reads all of this stuff, forcing her to translate and just like
being poetic and stuff, and
it's like
John's just looking at her.
tearing her down. So there's some definite interesting things here. Less stuff that is overall like super interesting, like into what the world like. Super important stuff, but I think it's important stuff for our characters.
Well, yeah, we get some more of the Ochi background, the late Master Taiko, and then this Nguyen takes her as his wife, and you see some flashback scenes there. More of Mariko's backstory is revealed here, though there's not yet enough to kind of piece together everything, but you get the general gist of it. My big question by the end of this, and in fact, the character even vocalizes it. He asks her, Ichi something, the main rival to Toranaga, what's his name again? Ishido asks her, "Why do you hate Toranaga so much?" She doesn't answer. She just says, "Make sure this motherfucker's dead," essentially. And so we have the fucking Kabuki Theater too. That's when I was like, wow, this is like legit. I think it's authentic. He's like, it's like, I think it's because it's a drama and because, they're recreating it. I guess there's fluctuations in the voice to help show the tragedy.
There's a lot of that in Spanish soap opera, so I get it.
Maria, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? Yeah, but they don't go, Maria, oh, ¿por qué? Man, I love these. I love the fucking sounds and the drum and then the clack clang. So cool. Anyways, so then my fucking squire tied this too goddamn tight.
Well, you were standing up. It's different.
We were putting on this armor, and it took us like
stretcher.
10 minutes. And Joe goes, "What would happen? Man, it must have sucked for the samurais if there was a surprise attack." And I was like, "Wait, I'm still putting on my armor." Yeah.
They wouldn't put it on. I know some of you guys are like, well, actually, they wouldn't do that. I know. It was a joke.
It's a fucking joke.
Everyone takes everything I say so literal.
They would literally wait at his door after they stormed the other rooms. They were like, okay, because they're so honorable, they wait for us to put us, and then attack. All right. Anyway, so the theater kabuki guy, Lord Ito, is suggested to be a replacement.
Patsy, pretty much.
Patsy, only if he will vote against or vote with them to take out Toranaga and kill him. And then we get the brothel leader, and there's a little bit with the jealous nephew, right? Because he is in love and having a relationship with Kiko, and he has to fucking watch her.
Must
be
be
the
tough, man.
So, that's
like, how was work, honey? Oh, it was rough.
Ultimately,
it's a busy day today. Oh.
That's bad.
Like, was it 50 Ways to Die in the West?
Yes. He's like, oh, give me a kiss. Oh, no, your breath stinks.
No, thank you. So we get a lot of that. And and then ultimately, this episode, like I said, was really, really good. Bunch of excellent performances, bunch of flashbacks. But let's go to final ratings for
I agree
Ladies
with
of
y'all.
the World.
Honestly, this was 9 for me. Still loved it. It was more about different characters. We get some more backstory with everyone, gets their relationship updates and what's going on.
Yeah.
But I still want to know what's going to happen with. He lost his his army. I wanted to know more of the grand
Yeah, I
scheme.
would like to see a little bit more of the destruction of the army. We
Yeah, because it's like, well, how much are we
things.
down, or
Yeah.
can we kind of recuperate? But he says, no, we can't. We lost like more than half, or quite a bit.
Yeah, they give you a figure. I don't know if it's in this
it's a
episode, but
lot.
it's later on. It's
Yeah.
thousands died in
Thousands,
the
but-
landslide.
We just need to see it a little more.
But yeah, this one was just more about the people that were in the village. Still great though. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, still absolutely 9 out of 10.
Same here, 9 out of 10. Like I said, 10 out of 10 in comparison to fucking what fucking
Yeah.
Rebel Moon
Again,
comes
overall-
up with
oh,
and all
God.
these other things. But all right, episode 7, which is called
A Stick of Time.
A Stick of Time. And this is cool because we get a flashback scene where we see Toranaga achieving his first victory in battle against the warlord
This 12-year-old
Mizoguchi.
kid. Yeah.
Mizoguchi. And Mizoguchi commits seppuku in front of him. Is like, surprised that he's the kid warrior and everything, and asks the kid to be a second. And it's cool because when this is initially, told, you're just like, whew. And it's like, all right, man, Toranaga was a badass. He did it in one swipe. But then later on, you realize,
They cut away. Yeah.
They cut away. It took like 9 hacks to get that head off.
He's a 12-year-old boy. Maybe
Yeah.
he wasn't sharp enough. I don't know.
Exactly. But he did win the battle and stuff, so you could tell this is a smart, crafty, warlord.
Yeah.
So, and then what else? We get some. So we're convinced to do some invading. Okay, Toranaga is not yet defeated or anything. He's like making plans to invade Osaka as a part of Crimson Sky, and it's a Sake. No, let's see. Saeki. Seiki reveals he has been offered the 5th regency in place of Sugiyama, and Toranaga must either surrender to the council in Osaka or face imminent war. This was so well done. I hate that fucking breakdown because that just ruined it. Essentially, what happens is he asks for his brother's help. And we have this awesome scene where you got these guys in white armor and gray armor. His brother shows up, and at first you think he's a fucking dick.
So I'm like, oh shit, what's gonna
What the
happen?
fuck, but then they're, hey, fuck you too, with your brothers and shit. So it works out, and I was like, oh, whoo, all right, we're gonna fucking get these armies together. We're gonna march to Osaka. Fuck
For
yeah.
victory!
For victory.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
10 out of 10 on this one, because then they go and they're doing their talking and they're sharing stories. And at first, he shares a funny story. Then the next
Where he
story
shat
says
his pants.
it's a little too much, and then he goes too far, and they're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
He can't do anything about it because he needs the alliance, so he's pushing those buttons
Yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "What can you offer me?" And then he's like, "I want this," and he's like, "Yeah," and you could see it on Toranaga's face. It's like, "Fuck, it's this guy." But then he's like, "Well, it's a shame then that I've already been made a deal."
He pulls out the letter.
He puts out a letter for his son to commit seppuku for killing Jozen.
Top 10 anime betrayals right there. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, this was amazing. He's like, "Don't accept that. Don't hold it. Don't grab it."
Yeah.
And because he does care about his son and loves his son.
Even though he's a giant fuck up.
He
And
is
is a
a
fuck
fuck
up the entire time.
He's a fuck up with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
He's only trying to please his father.
Yeah.
And so then what the army is just outside. The music swells. Everything is just going. And then everybody like draws swords, but they're like holding, and you can see his guards next to the other guards. This is a great fucking scene. And we realize we go from hopeful to we're going to have some badass battles in the next scenes to, we're fucked.
You're just like at the edge of your seat. It's like, how is he gonna get out of this one?
Exactly. Man. We also get a little bit of the courtesan and the brothel, and to get a little bit of that. The Anjin comes up with a plan, and to just get him out, because he feels for him. He's like, I don't know, we'll go to my ship, we'll clean the ship, we'll clean the barnacles, and then we'll go. We'll leave. And Mariko's like, really? It's like, nah. We just have to deal. We have to deal with the hand that we've been dealt. And again, the fucking dialogue is top tier. Fate is like a sword to those who know how to use it. Maybe it reminds him. And then we do get the scene of the madame who visits Toranaga. It's like she has one stick of time, essentially. And I think this scene is like, well, it seems superfluous and like doesn't make sense. There's some layers here that if you peel back that, you know, maybe in this she reminds him of, he's in despair at this moment. All this shit just happened to him. She reminds him of his abilities, you know, like, and then she even kind of is picking up on perhaps his plans. She's like, why make such a careless mistake? You know, the earthquake decimated the army, and maybe she's picking up on his secret plan here at what he's doing, or just pointing out some of his flaws here. What do you think of this scene where the mistress is like, but what do I know? I'm just an old whore. What did you think about
Yeah, I mean, she
what
clearly,
do you think's going on here?
She knows significantly more than, I mean, she has, the brother has been in the brothel for long periods of time and other people, so it's like they pick up bits of information, they've got political power, and they know things. So she was definitely trying to provide, you know, get what she wanted by, you know, pointing that she kind of knows more. That's more of what's going on.
Oh, those kind of ladies know a shit ton.
Yeah, pillow talk. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then finally, you know, I'm not doing this justice. I want to do these recaps justice. You just gotta watch the fucking
watch
show.
the
Yeah.
Then there's a hot spring scene where it's like all the soldiers, you know, are near the hot spring, and Yabushige shows up, and it's like there might be a fight. He's like fucking with them, and he just goes into the water. He's like, it's so good, and everybody's just watching it. It's fucking great. You know, this is a man with no care in the world. He thinks that he's got everything figured out. It's like, no matter what happens to this guy, I got some plans. Maybe this guy could be with this guy, whatever.
Well, kind of, but he also is writing a new will every single day. It's kind of like the running gag. He's like, oh, today's the day I die. We got to write a new will. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And so ultimately, he gives him like a day to figure out what he wants to do, is to surrender, come with me to Osaka, and ultimately be killed. And he agrees to the surrender. And fucking, we're at a war camp, and, you know, our Anjin Blackthorn is fucking pissed. He fucking gets up. He's like, you're all dead. And he's like, the most massive disrespect. And I'm like, everybody's getting killed left and right for, you know, speaking out of turn. But I think that at this point,
Well, yeah, he's
they
like,
just let him. Like,
yeah, because he's just talking, but then he just says, y'all are dead.
In
Japanese, but that's the only thing they got from that.
Oh, as he was talking
Yeah.
in English the whole time.
Everyone's
like,
just like,
what the fuck?
y'all are dead. I was like, is he going to kill us? What's going on?
Well, like, whatever. At
Yeah,
this
we're
point,
de- we're all
and
dead
also,
anyways.
It's also cool because by this time the engine has earned his keep.
Yeah.
And he is essentially has a seat at the table. And so it's shown in the series that, yes, subordinates are not allowed to, like, speak out and show disrespect. But if you're the Lord, you
And
can
you
kind of
saved his
get away with
life.
stuff. Yeah, you can kind of slide. He can get slide. So he earns that. Fucking 10 out of 10.
Yep. Great fucking scene. I did not expect the betrayal.
I didn't expect the
I
betrayal
was like, okay,
either. It
let's
fucking
go.
got me.
He's like, it's going to be brothers. And
And I'm glad I didn't expect the betrayal because I think it would have took away with it.
Yeah.
But it hit me hard. I was like, oh.
But that's not the end of it, though. The end of it,
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I think the end was Torinaga's son goes and tries to kill the brother, and he slips and falls.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
this is
and
it.
then
The episode keeps going, so it's
Exactly.
not even over.
Yeah.
and then we see
suicide
motherfucking his
attempt.
brother having sex with Kiku, and he's like, "I'll build you a fucking castle," but then he like after he finishes, he
See, I
he's a
thought
fucking
Kiku was
asshole.
gonna kill him because
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey."
Well, she's like, "I
you're
got other
you're
pleasure
into
things."
some weird kinks.
She is gonna kill him. She knows
Yeah,
what's
it's
about
like,
to go down.
That's why she left the room, yeah.
It's like, let's turn it up a notch. I got some other toys. It's like, oh, she's gonna kill him. But no, then surprise.
It is
But they
Toranaga's
yelled
son.
surprise, and that ruins the surprise because his son is an idiot.
Surprise, surprise.
All right, I'm tired of sitting on my phone. Just shrink down, Joe. Make
I can move
you
it.
Make me half a
All
man.
right, be right back.
All right. So essentially, this fight scene, you know, initially I was like, what the fuck at the end of it? You stupid fuck. It made me mad, but I'm like, hey, it's within the character. He's kind of a fuck up.
He's never had a battle
never
before.
Had a battle. And this just reminds me of all the great quotes from Toranaga throughout the whole series. And he's like, why is it that anybody who hasn't actually been in a battle is just so eager to go into a battle? It's like, because they don't fucking understand.
Yeah.
And then he slips on. So then he kills his fucking guards, and he gets so close to killing.
Lunges forward.
So close to killing him because it's fucking raining, or he's in the fucking pond. He slips on a fucking slick stone. And look, to be fair,
those rocks,
Joe,
the rock slates.
those rocks are fucking slippery as fuck.
They are.
And they were wearing the wrong footwear for the time.
Yes, real
And
cracks.
oh,
He needs
shit,
cracks.
And so, yeah.
He just bashes his head. And, he's like, and then scene.
a
I'm like, oh my
hilarious,
God.
brutal death and scene. So I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? We were so close to taking this motherfucker out. But now Toranaga's son's dead. Oh shit, what is going to go down? So the motherfucker gets out. Anyways, that's that. What about y'all? 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10. Liked it.
Okay.
I even like that scene where the two sons were in the hot spring. They're talking about
Oh,
the
yes.
brother. He's he's like a dull.
There's not two sons. One is a
Well,
nephew.
one's a son
of-
and nephew.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, we should do something about that asshole. Or he calls him some pig something. He's like, even your insults are as dull as your blade. It's like, ooh, burn.
Yeah. But he serves his purpose, guys. Serves his purpose.
40-something days.
I scoffed at this. Okay, I'm allowed to scoff at certain things. So we get essentially, what is this, episode
7?
That's 8.
No, 8.
No,
We're in 8
8,
now.
okay.
And this one's called The Abyss of Life. And apparently they're going, the army's just outside the city. They're going to leave them alone for 49 days to allow for the morning? Do you know how many mouths there are to feed in that fucking army that's about to camp out just to fucking pay respect? If this was fucking America or any other country, we attack tomorrow. Yeah. But no, Japan.
It's a nation of rules, and this is stuff that has been established. It's like the Toranaga is taking advantage every single time of these written things because all of the lords in Osaka would revolt if they're like, wait a minute, this is one of the most, we're going to kill him, but he's still one of the most important dudes.
Everybody's on that pin edge. It's like they just need an excuse to do this, to go either way.
Yeah, and so
Can't break the rules.
you can't break them.
49 days is a bit excessive. I'd say maybe I'll give you 2 weeks.
7
I'll give you a
hours?
week to mourn. Fucking a month and a half. Damn. Anyways, doesn't take away from the series at all.
No.
I fucking like, and you can even see these shots of them camping. I was like, Joe, how much food are they expending? It's a lot of resources. And in this, Toranaga is seen coughing, and he's sick. So did he get sick, or is he faking? Obviously, he's faking. He wants to make it look like, he's weak, he's tired. Man is a fucking good actor, dude. And this episode, holy fuck.
This is also the one.
We're not getting there yet, but I just want to set it up. It's like, it's fucking amazing.
No.
Yeah. So we get a lot of subterfuge. Initially, he's like, the completion, your service to our Lord has completed. You can leave now. And, you're probably going to leave anyway, says Mariko, or you were planning on doing it anyway. So everybody's at their lowest moment. We get the funeral. But before that, we get a scene where they're honoring him with stories. And like he would have liked us, talking all this good stuff about him. And he would. And I felt it. I was like, fuck, man. And they keep saying, the Lord is sick, and this and that. And I'm like, motherfucker ain't sick. and then we get, this is where Buntaro requests tea with his wife, which is
Another
wild.
Boy was trying real hard.
I'm not
sure if
She
that's-
cut him deep.
Not sure if that's in this particular one or if that's in the next episode, but he definitely makes the request here. And then he meets with a father who is the father who's impressed with his Japanese. He's like buying stuff at a market, and he like is between firewood and charcoal, and he just notices that he is now full blown, Japanese. I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning. That's what he is right there. And he's like, "Are you gonna wear those clothes? Like they're trading barbs. You gonna wear those clothes when you talk to your men? What are they gonna think of that?" Yeah, he's like, "Fuck."
They've been living amazingly while you guys are scraping to
Hey,
get
they're
by.
whoring it up.
I'd rather live here. Fuck, England, London, and all that bullshit. It's like, no, I am now Japanese. I'm the one wearing the armor in the review, so yeah. Anyways, but they use the priest, essentially, in this episode to make a show of it. That, he wants a peaceful death. He's going to surrender, but no one knows his true intentions, not even his fucking generals outside. They're all kept in the dark because they have to believe all of this stuff in order to make the ruse successful.
And I'm still giving you a plot of land for your church.
Yeah, that was nice. And he was like, all right, man, I'm happy.
Yep.
Gets to go home happy, share all the stories. It's not till later that he realizes what he did. So we do get the tea scene here with Buntaro. Man, this could have been this like a 10 out of 10, without all the rest of this shit. And so this episode's like a 11. But basically, Buntaro and Mariko, he prepares this tea. It's so cool, and I was like, man, I want that. I like all these little tools.
You don't have the patience for it.
The matcha ceremony.
You don't have the
and
patience.
I was like, did you do that when you went to Japan?
I did not, because that would have taken forever.
We did, yeah. It was
Alex told us about it.
Yeah,
Tell us.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like we had we were in Kyoto. And, like, we have to walk through this crazy giant bamboo forest, and they get to, like, this big shrine, and they do the whole ceremony. And, like, they're every single move, like, they've done a million times.
It's a performance.
And
Yeah.
And in fact, she even says, thank you for your performance. And he's legit good at it, man. Good tea, good performance. Yeah. But he takes this moment to step a little too far.
Now that I've made you tea, you should forgive all of the physical and emotional abuse that you've had for the last,
Let's reminisce about the old times. Remember when we were happy? She's like, no, not really.
No.
And he wants to commit suicide together. He wants to go into oblivion as husband and wife. And she looks at this guy and she's like...
The nerve of you to ask me to do that with you after everything.
I would rather live 1,000 years than fucking take my life, You denied me, like, all those times you denied me. I think you misunderstand what's happening. All those times you denied me a life out of your reach. Oh! She hits him so hard, he left crying. Motherfucker's crying. It's like,
then he says, a simple no would have been suffice.
Yeah, that's what OJ said and made me crack up so down. I was like, shut up.
I was like, damn.
Oh, did you start feeling for that guy? Like he just had to cut his dad's head off. His dad, the last thing he said to him is pretty much like, you're a fuck up, you have to live. And then like his wife says something like cold-blooded as hell. And it's like, man, you're a piece of shit, but I kind of feel a little bad for you this second. But only for a second.
Yes, and that's the greatness of this writing.
Yeah. It's a little out of order, Alex. He doesn't cut his dad's head off. That's coming next. So then we get Ajin meets with his old men, and he's basically now a stranger to them. He's like, what the fuck is this? And he's drunk as fuck, just beating, a woman in the street or just like taking advantage of her. And he just, I guess he realized he can't really go back. Like he feels more at home here than there, but yet he does want to and then he doesn't. But then this guy is drunk and they start fighting. And he just beats this man.
I thought he was going to kill him.
Yeah, he probably would have if this motherfucker like, we got to go. And he's like, all right. So now,
he can never go back.
Great scene. At least not with those assholes. He ain't going back.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like the culture shock and stuff. So, anyways, he goes to Yabushige and pledges to him. Another great scene. It's, again... This is disgraceful in the Japanese way. This is Blackthorn trying to, it's like, well, if he's resigned himself to die, I need a lord. And
we need to get the hell out of here type thing.
and he can't. But Yabushige, of course, the way he is, he's intrigued by it, even though he has to be like, I refuse.
I would never call me.
Graceful. And then this is where we get the mistress visiting her plot of land, and she's like so happy. And then the priest shows up, and he's like, oh, it's a nice plot of land. He's like, who's that over there? And it's like, oh, those are the courtesans. And there's gonna be a tea house, essentially a brothel. And Alex is pissed.
Not me. I like tea houses.
Yeah. And then we get a scene. This one confused me, or not confused me, but I was wondering what's really going on here. So we get that scene with this old lady that she's passing away, and I kept thinking, did she get poisoned?
No, she just had a stroke.
She just had the stroke,
Yeah.
you think? But it's like, it's so weird. It's like she gives her some medicine. And I guess she is trying to legitimately comfort her, but it's like at the end she like still stuffs something in her thing, but maybe that's just
It was her
in
her handkerchief that she used to wipe her mouth
Okay.
with. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Taiko's old wife, right? So we
Yeah.
get that flashback scene where she's like, "Look, if you give my husband a son, I will give you this mirror. It's been in the family. It's one of a kind." And so, this woman kind of elevated her from, to where she is. So there's some love there.
Then we get, holy shit, one of the most fucking intense scenes I've ever watched. Grown men were crying, and I teared up too. Essentially, this is his most loyal general, has been with him. He's even in the flashback scene when he was a 12-year-old warlord, and, he witnessed him.
His only friend.
His only friend, basically. And it's presented in a way where he's going against his lord. He's like, I protest, because all the other generals, I mean, they're at the verge of revolt. They're at the verge of, no, we're gonna fucking fight. We don't fucking care. And essentially, he's like, nope, this is between me and my lord. He kind of tries to distract them and makes it all this performance where he essentially fucking commits seppuku, and man, this had to have been difficult. And you see it.
Yes,
the acting
like,
from
no,
both
stop
of these
it.
fucking actors.
Yeah.
This is a 10 out of 10 fucking acting. It's like you're fully
Just for
convinced.
the
You can even
scene
see
alone.
the crying, but he's holding it back, and it's like, whew. And he asks his son to second him. So Montaros is ready, and they try. He's like, stop him. This is madness. But he goes through with it. Fucking goes through with it. Fucking, damn.
No, he's all alone.
This affected me, and I was mad.
Me too.
I was like, I'm ready to fight against
It's like,
him.
fuck you. Yeah, it's like, no,
But
you gave up.
Yeah, fuck you. But luckily, the next scene is Mariko, and him in his room, and he's talking. And just through this dialogue, it's revealed that, this is part of the plan. And that
He played his part. Now it's your turn.
played his part. He gave his life for what he believed in. He sacrificed. Basically, to sum it up, Toranaga is having to sacrifice all of those he's closest with, that are closest to him, to make all of this shit happen. And now he's like, he did his part. Are you ready? And she's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And she's been waiting to die this whole time. So if you're gonna go out like Mariko
purpose,
went,
yeah.
and the next episode, oh, so good, so good. But before that, we get
From here on out, me, it's just gonna be 10s.
same here. Well, maybe the final episode. But 10s.
Yeah.
So the sound design and music was a 10 out of 10 in this episode.
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
the rain falling outside as all this is going down. And, yeah. But we do get a scene of her joining Yabushige and Anjin to the capital, last minute. And they're like, what the heck? What's she coming for, And while this is going on, Lord Toranaga finally visits his son grave, because previously he didn't, and he basically honors him. He thanks him for the time, this extra time that he gave him to prepare. And I'm thinking here, oh shit, man, he's gonna get a big army and he's gonna move on. I didn't realize at the time how impactful what Mariko was going to do. And then I was like, wait a minute. Did he plan that too with his son? No, his son's just an idiot.
He's gonna slip on a
Slipped
rock.
on a rock.
Got
But it's like, damn,
Well,
this
he
man
knew-
plans everything.
He probably knew, like, look, my son is impulsive. He doesn't think. He's just impulsive.
Maybe he
so
probably did.
He knew he was
his
gonna do
son
something
would lash
stupid,
out if something like that.
but
might
he didn't
happen.
expect him to die. I guess.
But ultimately, through serendipity, managed to get a fortuitous series of events, manages to benefit from that.
Yes.
And
then
he's like,
also
I
the-
will not waste this.
Yeah, and also the grandma plants the seed to the is it Ichiban? It tells her like you need to stop all this, release the hostages.
Oh
before
right,
she dies.
yeah,
Before
yeah,
she
yeah.
dies.
So
Yeah.
she is fucking. She
She
is an
is-
assassin. She is a crazy woman.
Yes.
But we need to start planting the fact that
Yeah,
maybe
so she
she's on the wrong
starts. She
path.
kind of starts doing that.
Your ally is trash. He's always been trash. He will be nothing but trash.
Trash.
Release these hostages.
Bureaucrat.
Yeah.
It's just like, oof.
So,
I love the hostages.
starts thinking about
Episode
that.
9 is all about this castle where it's like, what are you talking about? Anybody's free to leave at any time. Do you have
Walking
a
out-
pass?
No, you're not.
Do you have a fucking pass?
Papers,
No, I
please.
got papers, please. Oh my God.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
It's this whole thing basically boils down to Mariko going there, and this is called Crimson Sky, episode 9. By the way, 10 out of 10. Chapter 9. So they arrive in Osaka to surrender to Ishido on Toranaga's behalf. Yabushige requests that Ishido spare his life in exchange for servitude, but he's denied. And previously, they sent him the fucking head of one of his previous generals. So he's like, fuck. And he's looking for a way out, essentially.
Yeah.
He's desperate at this moment because he feels his end near. And then, anyways, so Mariko is demanding, after she has this incredible moment in the, what would you call it, the court
The
or the
council or
council,
something.
she just fucking talks back, and I love
Yeah, I
it.
was like, oh shit.
And he's like, what you mean to say is this? And you're like, no, bitch. This is what I mean.
My lord says this.
Exactly. I'm fucking leaving. And he's like, no, you don't understand. For your protection.
It's
She's
over
like,
when
I
I
don't
say
care.
it's over.
I am fucking leaving. And everybody she's making a scene of it.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody's noticing, oh shit, Mariko's serious. She's gonna prepare to commit seppuku later on here. She announces she's going to take her own life
if she can't leave.
if she can't leave, because it's an insult to her and her lord at sunset. And everybody's like, oh fuck, this creates a huge commotion. And then in fact, Ochiba meets in secret with Mariko, and they reminisce about their childhood, and she's trying to get her to not do this.
Calm down.
Yeah, and Mariko's like, nope.
Nope.
And I think Ochiba fucking believes her that she's gonna do this.
But yeah, it's like
Everybody's like,
everyone here-
she's not gonna do it, this and that. And Shido's like, don't worry, blah, blah, blah.
And the people are seeing
No.
it's like, oh, we are hostages. Like,
Yep.
Oh, they know they're hostages. Because
Yeah,
this is the first person that's
yeah.
been able to say it out
To
loud
say
without
it,
fear
yeah.
getting stabbed in the
exactly.
night. A lot of bandits in Osaka.
Later that night, we do get a scene with Blackthorn and Mariko. Basically, boom, they're in love. It's confirmed. In fact, during the tea scene, Buntaro was like, are you still enamored with the Ajin?
Under his spell.
She doesn't say anything. And I'm like, yep, here she is.
I'm just doing my job.
Right.
I see the way you look at him.
They profess their love for each other, and yeah. So, what happens?
Then after
which
the
scene?
love making scene,
It
we
was-
get the ninjas.
Well,
No.
No?
She tries to leave the fucking castle. We get
oh
that
no,
scene.
yeah.
And
I'm back up on that.
her fucking bodyguards are escorting her out, and they're like, you can't leave. And she's like, no, I can leave.
Oh, I can leave it. And they're like, no, you can't. She's like, all right, you kill all of them. And then they do.
I
Yeah.
love this
And
fucking
it's like those
order.
dudes, like, they're badasses. They know they're there to die, but they know they're there to fuck shit up. And so
They
He
knew
was-
what they were in for.
He's doing a great job, but then the archer gets him.
Yeah, archers
Then
come,
I was like, all right,
more
next one,
troops come.
next
and
one.
It's like, fuck,
it was
man.
1v1, bro.
Yeah, fucking archers.
Fuck you, bitches. And I love how she picks up the weapon herself, and the fucking guards are a little confused at what to do. Do we fight this woman, too? Everybody's watching us, all the fucking lords.
We're not allowed
It's
to
like-
kill
Yeah,
her.
and the other lord's like, don't hurt her.
And they're like,
I'm
fuck,
what
okay,
are you, this block.
And, yeah, it's just a harrowing scene. She drops to her fucking knees and falls on the ground. She's tired. She's, beat up, and man, this does make a perfect
great
spectacle
scene
to
too, because I
everybody.
love this. She just keeps walking slowly, and the arrows are getting closer and closer and closer. I'm like, oh my god,
This is what it's all about.
This is where she claims that she's like, all right, you want to let me leave? I have to kill myself.
Yep.
I will kill myself,
Yeah.
and you have to cut my fucking head off to the Christian Lord.
By the way, the motherfucker doesn't show up.
Yeah.
To Saganer, and this is a change from the book. I learned it was going to be the Ajin or the Blackthorn seconds her in this. It's not that way in the book. Anyways, so she's gonna do it. He's like, "Is she really gonna do it?" She's gonna do it, and she's about to do it. But luckily, I was like, I couldn't fucking breathe. I
was like, no, is she gonna go out like this?
I don't go out like this. I couldn't breathe. But he shows up at the last fucking minute. Here's your fucking pass. And there's a great scene. It's like, do I give her the pass? Well, if I give her the pass, then it's going to fuck me. If I don't give her the pass, it's going to fuck me, and I'm fucked. So he's
Power
like,
move right there.
Yeah.
Mariko, tied him in a knot, and he couldn't get out. It was perfect. And I guess he chose that one because maybe there'll be fewer people that will revolt if he gives her the fucking pass.
Yeah.
And buy him a little bit more time. So he gives her the pass.
Then
and
everyone
I was
else is like, me too. Me too.
Like,
Can I leave?
So now Blackthorn and Mariko can go off, and they'll win, and here Toranaga will show up, and everything will be fucking wonderful and great, and I can't wait.
Oh, man.
And then what
you
the
know he's pissed.
fuck?
You know he's pissed.
Bunch of fucking ninjas and shinobis are fucking infiltrating, and it was Yabushige that opened the fucking door. And these motherfuckers come in, they start fucking killing everybody. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, they can kill everyone who's not a lord because they can't piss off the lord. So this is it's really important. Like, they know exactly who they can kill and they can't kill because, I mean, like you said before, it's like if I let them go, all the other people want to go. If I deny them that, all the lords will revolt. So his only option is capture her and then go.
Yeah, so he's trying to capture Blackthorn. Is using his swords and his guns, and everybody's fighting, and it's getting so close to death. It's tense. It's a great fucking scene, and they actually get fucking cornered into a little storehouse. And they're like, blow it open. And at the same time, Mariko, tries to block the door.
Why does the storehouse lock from the inside?
I don't know.
Okay.
But it fucking blows, and that is
Don't
it.
ask questions.
And
Don't ruin
fucking
the scene.
smashes to black. Fucking Shinobi, man.
Yeah.
Explosion.
Yep, she's killed by the explosion. Horrifying black. Well, we don't see it here. We see it in the next episode. But, yeah, 10 out of 10. And I didn't want Mariko to die. I wanted her to end up with Blackthorn, but I can't always get what I want. This is a fucking story, man. This is
Not
this
every
was
story
a plan.
has a happy ending,
And she
man.
knew she was gonna go out, and that's why she professed her love. And everybody there, they had a good moment before he went out. They had a moment together before she went out. I'm sorry, and then he's holding her in his arms, and he's like fucking blood curdling, scream. And in this moment, even Yabushige, who realizes, oh fuck, I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing, motherfucker?
Only non-lords were supposed to die. Only like the people he doesn't recognize as like humans. So it's like someone on his level died and then it became real. We also miss a really important scene where she goes for absolution with the priest. And it's not just her confessing, it's her negotiating. Which we find out later.
Save, we didn't understand it there, but or revealed there, but she saves because this fucking foreigner, they're gonna fucking kill him.
Bandits.
Okay, bandits again. He was about to get killed by bandits, and he's like, "Look, I'm about to get killed by bandits." Right? He's like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah,
you were,
but she negotiated your safe passage, So, yeah. And originally we thought, for the in exchange to sink your ship, there's somebody else behind sinking the motherfucker's ship, and it's not who you expect, or maybe exactly who you expect. Anyway, so 10 out of 10. I don't even need obviously across the board. And then number 10, chapter 10, A Dream of a Dream. And I was like, man, I was expecting, wow, so that was so cool. He sent her there, and then maybe his army's going to be just outside. We're going to have a battle. None of that happens. Okay, because I realized the machinations of the plan, and then he doesn't need an army. He sends her, which sows
He lit the match.
discord. He lit the match. Now the lords are, if they were already teetering, they are fucking wild, and it is open season. And now he has what he needs to negotiate with the lords, in order for them to change their allegiances. Hell, in the middle of the future battle to come, it's like, yeah, I might be outnumbered, but then all of these plans that I've laid out means that I can ask the Lord's forces, the small Lord Ochiba, who she agrees to support Toranaga in this upcoming battle, and then some of the other lords are going to turn against him as well when they see that the wind is blowing in Toranaga's direction again. Fucking amazing, and he can eventually become the Shogun. So that's where a lot of this is all kind of unfolded right here. Somebody take this. So what happens after Mariko is buried? The council unanimously votes to declare war on Toranaga.
Yeah, this one is Ushido meets up with. Remind me his name. The guy like asshole guy.
Yabushige.
Yabushige. He meets up with him. He's like, "Hey, this is what happened. She wasn't supposed to die." And then you can see the guilt, and he just starts losing it. And there was an earthquake that morning too. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna declare war." So he's like trying to catch the catfish, and he's like, "No,
catfish.
There's a bad omen. Last time we went to war, it was a bad omen." He just starts going crazy. I'm like, that was a great.
I was like, is this motherfucker faking it?
Yeah, this is like
because he's been doing this one got to him.
He has brain scrambled the night before.
Yeah. So I really love this scene. That was a good one.
Great.
Yeah, and then they get back, and so we talked about John getting marched with the priest, and the priest kind of reveals to him as like, look, she negotiated for your safety. They eventually get back to the fishing village, and then kind of Toranaga just revealing everything, and he's just like, these are the strings that I've been pulling, and it's way deeper than John could even imagine. It wasn't needless and senseless death, and he just kind of fills in the gaps.
He even tricks the Anjin here as well, because he goes back to the village and he sees all these heads are being cut, the village is being punished because his ship has been destroyed, and Toranaga's searching for who fucking destroyed this ship. And
who did it, I wonder? Find me. And he knows that he's the one that.
And he's such a good guy. He goes over and he's gonna commit seppuku. Blackthorn is like, stop, punishing the villagers. And I'll fucking, commit seppuku. And he's like, no, he doesn't believe him. But right when he's about to do it, that's when fucking Toranaga stops him. Guess who fucking sank the ship? It's Toranaga. I needed to test him is what he is. All right, you are now going to build my fleet. And I think his destiny later on, is to never leave Japan. Which is interesting because this whole fucking episode starts with him back in England. He's an old man laying in bed. He's got 2 kids.
He's got the sword.
And the armor. Like, wow, grandfather beat all, the Japanese with this and that. And he's even holding the fucking, rosary. And I'm thinking, initially I thought, oh, cool. He made it out. They're doing a flashback. He's going to tell his kids about all his time in Japan. But then as this episode goes along,
it's not real.
You realize, especially when he's actually talking with Fuji, who he gets to spread the ashes in the sea, and then he also is honoring Mariko
forever
and throws the fucking rosary that we just saw in the sea, and I'm like, oh fuck!
Does he go back?
That's him. That's in
in
his mind.
His brains
He's
were
never
scrambled.
leaving Japan.
Yeah, he does not get out. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and then so we get the seppuku scene where Yabushige is like, I'm gonna kill myself, and it's just one-on-one him. And
he's like, wait, no, please don't make me commit seppuku. Can I get blown up by a cannon? Can I fucking have angry fish bite the shit out of me?
Yeah, and he's like, no, I don't trust you.
Because he's
I don't
some kind of
Louise.
Yeah, and he's like, I will cut, and he's like, all right, fine. Can the Anjin cut my head off? And he's like, no. Can you? And he's like, okay. And so it sets up this really great scene where he gets to explain to him and answer, satisfy his curiosity, even to the point.
This is the audience learning about everything.
Yeah, and it's great. Like, I really, really loved this scene. So him explaining, it's like, this is why things happen. This is why the way they happen. I knew you were Snake the whole time. And he's like, all right, tell me straight. Did you actually want to be Shogun the entire time? And he smiles at him before he cuts his head off.
Yeah.
And so
he does a little motion.
Yeah, even though, his guts are pouring out, he sees the Toranaga is smiling, and he himself then smiles and realizes his plan was to be Shogun all along. And then gets his head chopped off.
I wonder how it's presented in the book. Like, is it spelled out? Because even here...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it spells out. Yeah, he's like, I wanted to be Shogun. That's what I fought for and planned all my life. I alone am heir to the realm. I will be Shogun, and I have started a dynasty.
See, he's even more of a cold-hearted. Here, he's cold-hearted. Here, he's even more cold-hearted, brutal, and outright taunting with it almost.
Yeah, but he also does some interesting things here where he explains to Buntaro later, and he's like, oh, my wife embarrassed me. He's like, look, I told her to cozy up to the Anjin, and he explains that it was kind of him putting in there because he's like, I needed this guy to be happy and be controlled. And so it actually kind of explains more of the camaraderie that comes later in this episode, where it's less I want to take his fucking head, and it's because
I like the vagueness of it here, even though it's not vague. I like the kind of silent responses and the smile and that kind of
I don't like
guile.
you, but I respect you.
Mm-hmm. I wanted him to keep him around, but no, this is Japan, okay? This is going to go down. You're going to fucking die.
Yeah, he's like, tell me your plan. He's like, I don't tell dead men the future.
Right.
It's with word for word what he had said earlier to his nephew when they were walking through the streets. It's like, why tell a dead man the future?
Yeah.
Yep, and Yabushige actually does it. I'm like, thank you, Yabushige, because I was wondering whether he was going to do it or not. Nope, he's a man of honor. In the last moments, I think it's because after getting the speech, he finally realizes that there are things greater than your own life. You know what I mean? Toranaga has sacrificed those closest to him. He is always trying to find a way out.
Yeah. I knew he was going to do it because, like, in the, first couple episodes, when he's like, well, this is my fate. I'm going to die. So he was about to kill himself until John helped him.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, he's going to... This is how he goes out. He was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, in order to get things done and bring peace to the galaxy, I love democracy.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, peace sort of. I mean, there's two paragraphs here at the end of the book that my only little bit of disappointment was knowing that we could have had this, where they start talking about the battle. The battle happens.
Damn it. See, in this, before we do that, we do get a CGI scene.
Yeah.
The armies coming together, as he's explaining, 5 armies, but then the little lords, she had already agreed to betray him at the last minute and not commit his forces, and he would essentially win that battle.
Yeah, he would get the letter, he realized what he did, and then...
Yeah, but we don't get to see what happens to the bad guys or anything. And so,
right, I was expecting a prologue, and I was rewinding from past the credits. No!
Yeah, especially...
And we get a little bit more context with the book.
Yeah, so it tells him exactly the time. It says, by late afternoon, Toranaga had won the battle, and the slaughter began. 40,000 heads were taken. And then 3 days later, Ishido was captured alive, and Toranaga genially reminded him of a prophecy. Prophecy was that he was going to die old, and I think his feet planted in the earth like he was going to be a fixture in the earth. So he reminds him of the prophecy and sent him in chains to Osaka for public viewing, ordering the Eta to plant the General Lord Ishido feet firm in the earth with only his head outside of the earth, and to invite passersby to saw at the most famous neck in the realm with a bamboo saw. Ishido lingered 3 days and died very old. So he buries him alive and then just lets people hit him and then he dies of exposure.
Damn.
I don't think that we necessarily needed to see him withering into the sun, but implying that this...
They softened Toranaga here a little bit.
There is
he's
war.
way more brutal, and I actually kind of like that a little more.
Yeah.
And that's why I still think this series is a 10 out of 10, but in the final episode, it's going to be one of those that I give a 9 out of 10 to. I'm sorry, downvote me if you want. I just wish there was a little bit more on that final battle, a little bit more of an epilogue. Even though every goddamn scene that we got here in the allotted time was amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm still going to go with the 10 year. I was disappointed, and I completely understand people, even being, more disappointed than me. I just think that the way that they film this, the way that Toranaga reveals his plan, him and Yabu, like that scene alone is like legendary to me, and so it's like so much of this finale was satisfying, even though there's a little bit of disappointment that could have been bigger and better. I think that that just comes with media.
Toranaga, he's torturing his own people. That means like he was fucking killing his own people.
Yes.
For something he did. He blew the fucking...
Put the heads on the fucking...
Right.
Like,
but they were probably already, the ones that were working with the Christians and the...
yeah, but he has to keep up appearances because, I mean, it's all part of this big, grand ruse.
Yep. Damn.
What do you think?
Oh, for me, it's going to be a 10. Even though we didn't get, like, a lot of action, these scenes alone, the dialogue, fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think all these individual scenes are 10s out of 10s, and I do think it would have been great to have an epilogue, and it's probably just me more like, no!
I need more! Yeah.
But it's a good thing. It's probably a 10 out of 10, but I'm just mad.
Even a few
I don't get
seconds.
no goddamn more. Yeah. Thank y'all guys so much for watching. This has been
Hopefully
incredible.
you guys watched it.
Go watch it.
And tell people to watch it.
Super long review, but hey, for those of you who enjoyed it as much as we did, we just wanted to talk. I didn't want to rush the boys today. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Check it out. It's on FX, it's on Hulu, it's on Disney Plus, and it's on YouTube TV. So it
definitely
is
worth
legendary TV, and that's it.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much. Damn it, I want more. I want more fucking Japanese period pieces like this. Now I gotta go watch.
He wrote another book.
He wrote another book.
But it's in China.
The people were saying, well, I think there's one in Japan that's in the 1800s too that they could potentially do. There's like six books or something. This is one of them. But it's obviously it's not gonna continue these characters or anything, So, but. I don't know. With how well they executed this one, if they do another show, I would watch that one. But I don't think it's going to be as good a show.
No, because you need those, like I guess, those writers, the director, all that.
Yeah, so that's what's coming up there, and from a purely corporate standpoint, FX is like, fuck, man, fuck, we need something else, like something just like this.
Disney's got to be pleased, like that. This is technically a Disney thing, so it's like they have something that's like actually a hit that isn't Secret Invasion or any of those other things.
X-Men '97.
Yeah, but they're not making anywhere near the money
on
'97 that they are for this. So.
All right, so an hour and 20 minutes, but hey, we covered 6 hours of content, episodes fucking 5 through fucking 10. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.